Shalom, Erev Tov, good evening. This is TV7 Israel News broadcast to you from Jerusalem. The Islamist Hamas has not yet provided a response to President Donald Trump's ceasefire proposal. Germany's domestic intelligence service, BFV, arrests 3 Hamas members who've been preparing to mount a terror attack on German soil. The Israeli Navy intercepts the far-left and Islamist flotilla, which sought to break Israel's blockade on the Gaza Strip. Israel will abide by U.S. President Donald Trump's proposed plan for the Gaza Strip. However, if Hamas fails to accept the deal, Israel will push until it completes its declared mission vis-à-vis the Islamist Hamas in particular and the Palestinian enclave at large.
אני חזרתי עכשיו מארצות הברית בשליחות הממשלה ובשליחות אזרחי ישראל. באום הצגתי את האמת על מדינת ישראל, של אזרחיה וחייליה. בוושינגטון סיכמתי עם הנשיא טראמפ על מתווה לשחרור כל חטופינו והשגת כל מטרות המלחמה שהצבנו. אני אמסור דין וחשבון מפורט יותר גם לחברי הממשלה וכמובן גם לחברי הקבינט.
While Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu relayed to his cabinet ministers a long list of issues that were agreed upon with U.S. President Donald Trump, Israel's ambassador to the United Nations, Dani Danon, during an event commemorating October 7th, highlighted Jerusalem's unwavering commitment to return all of the hostages from Hamas captivity.
If they reject the plan, Israel will finish the job, either the easy way or the hard way. Their return cannot wait. This is not only a roadmap to bring them back, it is also a plan to end the tyranny of terror that was unleashed on October 7th.
The Islamist Hamas has not yet responded to President Trump's plan, with conflicted reports circulating on the terror group's intentions. According to Qatari Foreign Ministry spokesman Majid Al-Ansari, however, Hamas had promised to study the deal, while additional meetings were expected to be held with Turkey to try and convince the Palestinian terror group to accept the American plan.
الخطة وقد وعد الوفد التفاوضي بدراستها بمسؤولية وهو الأمر الذي يتم الآن وحتى اليوم أيضا سيكون هناك اجتماع آخر بحضور الجانب التركي كذلك مع الوفد التفاوضي كل ذلك هو بهدف التشاور حول هذه الخطة والدفع باتجاه كما قلنا نهاية لهذه الحرب من خلال هذه الخطة.
Meanwhile, in Washington, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt asserted that President Donald Trump expects the Palestinian terror group to respond shortly.
So the president made it very clear he wants to hear back from them very soon. I will leave it to the president or the Secretary of State to speak on that, but we expect and we hope that Hamas will accept the plan that was proposed by Special Envoy Witkoff. It's a good plan, and as you know, it's been applauded by leaders all over the world.
Turning to the United Kingdom, where a 35-year-old Syrian man, Jihad al-Shami, who was granted UK citizenship as early as 2006, murdered 2 British Jewish worshippers on the Day of Atonement, or Yom Kippur, deliberately ramming his vehicle into Jewish pedestrians standing next to a synagogue before disembarking from his car with a knife in hand and managing to stab a security guard before Greater Manchester police opened fire and eliminated the terrorist.
I am horrified by the anti-Semitic terrorist attack at a synagogue on the holiest day in the Jewish calendar. My prayers are with the victims and the families of all of those who are murdered here today. I want to thank the police and all of the emergency services for the speed of their response and also for their considerable bravery. The government has stepped up security at synagogues across the whole of the country, and we will do whatever is required to keep our Jewish community safe. I know that there are many questions that are still to be answered, and rest assured they will be answered as quickly as possible. It will just take a little time for us to establish exactly what has happened here, but we will share more information as soon as we are able to. What I do want to say is to those who seek to divide us, they will fail.
In addition to the heinous murder of 2 British members of the Jewish community, 3 others sustained injuries. It is important to note that the attack on Britain's Jewish community was not the only attempt by Islamist terrorists, with several plots foiled across Europe and other continents, one of which was reported on in Germany.
Ja, sehr geehrte Damen und Herren, heute ist es gelungen, eine terroristische Bedrohungslage abzuwehren. Es waren Terroristen, die der Hamas zuzuordnen sind, die verdichtete Anschlagspläne in Deutschland vorbereitet haben. Die sind seit längerer Zeit, seit einigen Monaten im Fokus der Behörden und unter Beobachtung. Vor einigen Monaten ist ein uns bekannter Terrorverdächtiger mit Hamas-Kontakten nach Deutschland eingereist. Seitdem ist diese Person unter Beobachtung und hat in dieser Zeit mit Kontaktaufnahmen versucht, entsprechend Waffen und Munition zu beschaffen, um einen Anschlag durchzuführen. Heute sind auch Waffen und Munition sichergestellt worden. Wir gehen davon aus, dass diese Bedrohungslage konkret war und wir gehen davon aus, dass rechtzeitig jetzt die Handlungen vorgeführt worden sind, diese Personen festzusetzen.
Israel's Mossad intelligence agency relayed its appreciation to Germany's Domestic Intelligence Service, BFV, for their close cooperation, which led to the ultimate arrest of the 3 Hamas terror operatives on German soil. This operation is added to additional collaborative efforts by Mossad with European intelligence agencies, to include in Austria. Turning to the eastern Mediterranean, where 42 vessels manned by over 400 far-left and Islamist activists who sought to break Israel's legal blockade on the terror-plagued Gaza Strip were intercepted by the Israeli Navy after they had rejected both Italian-led negotiations and repeated calls by Israel to transfer humanitarian aid on board through established channels into the Palestinian enclave.
This is the Israeli Navy. You are approaching a blockaded zone. If you wish to deliver aid to Gaza, you may do so through the established channels. Please change your course toward the port of Ashdod, where the aid will undergo a security inspection and then be transferred into the Gaza Strip.
The dozens of vessels failed to heed the calls by the Israeli Navy, which triggered a large-scale naval operation, during the course of which 42 out of 43 vessels were intercepted, while 1 vessel altered course to Cyprus. Meanwhile, Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni, while the Israeli naval operation was still underway, voiced frustration with the far-left activists, who seemingly sought media attention rather than granting the Palestinians genuine humanitarian relief. Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, who instructed Turkish naval vessels to accompany the far-left and Islamist flotilla for his part, sought to reassure his party followers that Ankara would not allow any harm to befall its people on board the vessels. Spain's Prime Minister, who also sent a naval vessel to accompany the flotilla, urged Israel that all Spaniards on board the intercepted vessels would be granted full diplomatic protection.
Yo lo que he trasladado desde el primer minuto siempre al gobierno de Israel es que lógicamente los nacionales, aquellos compatriotas que están en las flotillas, van a contar con toda la protección diplomática, como no puede ser de otra manera. No representan un peligro ni una amenaza para Israel y por tanto espero que Israel, en este caso el gobierno de Netanyahu, pues no represente tampoco, no provea de ninguna amenaza a esta flotilla.
Additional world leaders from Mexico to Brazil, Ireland to South Africa have also called on Israel to immediately extradite their nationals back home. The Israeli Foreign Ministry released a statement in response in which it stated, quote, "Procedures are underway to wrap up the Hamas mood provocation and to finalize the deportation of the participants in this sham. Already 4 Italian citizens have been deported. The rest are in the process of being deported. Israel is keen to end this procedure as quickly as possible." Thank you for watching TV7 Israel News. To update you on next week's schedule, TV7 Israel will not air on Monday as we will celebrate in Israel the eve of the Feast of Tabernacles. The rest of next week, TV7 Israel will resume our regular broadcast schedule. And with that, I would like to encourage you, keep praying for all of the hostages in the Gaza Strip. Pray also for the Christians and Druze in southern Syria and Christian communities in Nigeria. And last but not least, pray for the peace of Jerusalem and salvation of Israel. I'm Jonathan Hessen, wishing you a Shabbat Shalom v'Chag Sameach. And God willing, we will see you again on Tuesday. Until then, Shalom from Jerusalem.